Hello, everyone, and welcome back to yet another episode of Beyond Borders Australian Success. And like always, Aman and I have got two amazing guests sitting right next to us. And without further ado, let's introduce them. We have to my right Samir Pandey, Councillor, City of Parramatta Council, former Lord Mayor. Hi, Samir.
Hello.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. And here we have Anurag Sharma, General Manager, Holiday Inn Parramatta. Hello.
Hi guys, thanks very much for having me. Thank you.
Thanks for coming and thanks for your time. I just want to start from the very beginning because this podcast is all about inspiring people to become who you are and make dreams believable. What was your journey?
So thank you for having me. And I will say a few words about my journey. I don't want to spend too much time there, but I came in 99. I came here in 99. And as we were talking about journeys before this podcast, when I came here, I did not know one person in the country. I came on a 3 months business visa. So my initial plan was to be here for 3 months. Now, some might say that I've overstayed, and I have. It's 27 years now. I came on a business visa. My first job was teaching. I was very fortunate to have a job from day one. It was consulting, and then it moved on a work visa and permanent residency and so on. My background is in technology and law. I was a developer in my initial days. I left working for a technology company as global head of IT for a health research company, where I ran clinical trials in multiple countries. Then I started my own business. So I have a couple of business, and then in the last 9 years, I've been in elected role in City of Parramatta. So that's been my journey. And I'm very grateful every single day. I am grateful about my journey. And what inspires me is to create and use that skill, that expertise, that background to create opportunities, similar opportunities for many in our communities. That's what inspires me every single day that I'm here.
Amazing. We would love to know more. Anurag here. 2 decades. More than 2 decades. We're not revealing your age.
Don't do that.
But a lot of, journey that we have to hear from you. A young man from Uttar Pradesh.
That's right.
Coming here and starting. Where did the journey start?
I'm impressed with the research work you guys have done. Look, like Samir ji mentioned, definitely no overstaying situation for me. So back in 2004, 2005, I was here for an internship. So when it comes down to, obviously, congratulations again, guys, how you've organizing the podcast. I can relate to a lot of international students. So 2004, 2005, it was an internship year for me. Came from Dubai, did my 1-year internship here in City, and I was in love with the city. I'm like, Australia is where I want to be. Now, obviously, that part of time, the immigration laws were way different. I did not have enough experience and points to get my permanent residency. And Aman, you would understand this better, considering you do that day in, day out. So went back India, worked with the best of the brands, hotel. And then back in 2008, I went for my further studies in New Zealand. So I was studying with AUT Auckland and studied there for a couple of years, did my master's, but Australia was always back of my mind. And 2012 was the year I moved to Australia. And obviously we'll be talking more in detail later in the podcast. In Australia, I worked with hotels, Shangri-La, Crown Casino Hotels in Perth, and been in Sydney since 2018. But that 2004-2005 correlation was the reason for me to come to Sydney. Very proud Indian, and obviously now well-settled Australian. And happy to be here, and we'll share more in detail.
Great. Thank you so much. And as always, we have our Managing Director, Aman Sethi. Aman, you are with two amazing people from our community. I'll say our because I'm proud South Asian. You have had a lot of experience in the hospitality, right? And as well as like in the community where leadership played a huge role in where you are today as a managing director. Would you like to share something about that?
Yeah, definitely. Look, firstly, hospitality is an industry we work a lot with. We work with a lot of restaurant chains and big hotels as well. And that's something where there is a skill shortage, especially in certain areas and certain occupations like chefs and cooks and restaurant managers as well. And we work with clients on that basis. So yeah, it's fantastic to have both of you here today. And in terms of the community, look, it's fantastic to see how much support we have with the migrant community now, and the level of support where a new migrant comes here or an international student graduates, and the network and the people that they have to lean on and the inspiration that they get from, our people such as Anurag and Samir. It's fantastic. And it wasn't there 20, 30 years ago. And, people were kind of left on their own and navigating their own path. And now that community support is, critical for them to, get into the society and work their way forwards. So that's great to see.
Amazing. Samir, if I have to ask, two questions are just running my mind right now. One, we're so proud of you, of course, but to be the first, how did it feel like to be the first mayor of Parramatta who is from the subcontinent? And also, I'm sure you have a lot of journey to share, but one particular one that I would love to know is, how did you feel when you were called on stage and you got a recognition from not just one, but both the prime ministers of the lands you call home?
If we take a few steps back, I did not have a political ambition when I came here initially. It just happened. I'm always very keen to give back. That has been, that's the family, something which we learned from our family. And I think that's very common from people from Indian culture. We know that. Not just Indian, but a number of migrant and people here as well, I think. So that giving back was always there in some shape or form. As I said, I started my political journey 20 years ago. I have been a member of Labour Party for more than 20 years now, and in elected role for 9 years now. In my first decade here, I feel that I have achieved enough for myself, not because of just me, but because of the environment I have been, because of what I inherited, and because of the guidance, mentorship that I had from a number of people. So that helped me to take that step where I dedicate myself to give back, because I thought I have taken enough and we have to give back.
But Samir, sorry to interrupt you, but don't you think everybody would like to know, was it that easy? I mean, you want to make it sound easy, but you had some struggles, challenges?
A number of things which are worth doing are never easy.
Okay.
And politics is also not easy. This journey that we have is also not straightforward. It's not a straight line. Especially for us, when I say us, someone who is from a migrant community, when you were not born here, sometimes that connection is not there to the place. That's a challenge. Local knowledge is not there initially. That's a challenge. Your connection to people who make decisions is not there. That is also a barrier. There are a lot of barriers that we have to overcome, and we have to overcome by hard work, resilience, determination, and faith in the system. So it's not been an easy journey, but it has not been a smooth journey, but it has become a lot easier with the support of people, with the support systems that we have here. A number of people have played a very important role in my life in terms of where I am today. I'm grateful for every single person. I'm grateful for people who have taught me, who have mentored me, but I'm also grateful for people who have put faith and trust in me, and also those who have not, because every single person teaches you something.
Yes.
There's always, every single person will give you something which you can hold on to. So I've been grateful. It's been a very humbling journey last 25 years in this country. And I also want to, what also gives me a lot of comfort is after that I've met many people at different places in the first few months of my mayorship, and a number of people who have aspirations politically or were holding elected roles. They came to me and said that, we now feel very comfortable and we feel that we can do this as well. We feel that I can be a mayor in my local area. I can be a mayor or a member of parliament. And I think that's something which is not easy to achieve for a migrant individual, someone from migrant community. But that's what we want to create. We want to share those stories. We want to see that someone can be in mainstream media or mainstream politics or sports. And we want to have those individuals tell their stories so that people can see that this is possible. Quite often we give up early in our life thinking that this is too difficult. But if someone else can do, and you can see that someone else can do, and you can see that this is their journey, hopefully it will inspire more people to take that journey as well. The success of country is very closely tied to migration. Without the migrants, and whether it's the 10-pound poms, I'm not sure if you have come across that phrase, 10-pound poms, with the modern migration. It's been a fascinating journey. So 10-pound pom, if I can quickly say, is a name which is given to people who migrated from Britain after World War II. So you paid 10 pounds to have a free passage to Australia. And that's because at that time, the country needed migrants to come, build the economy, to build the country. And if you look at that period from 1940s to 1970, and then the modern multicultural migrants, that's been the success story of Australia. Migrants have built this country.
Definitely. And I guess a lot of positives on that side. From your perspective, what do you think is the next challenge that we need to overcome, in that migrant community? Or where is somewhere where you feel we need to improve even further than where we are at now?
See, the migrant journey, and we have seen this in our life, is from arrival to survival to aspiration to contribution, and then ultimately leadership. That's the journey. We are at different stages of that journey in our time here. To answer your question, where we can do better is the transition period. When people have come here, are they working in their own sector? Are their skills recognized? Do they have the opportunities that they aspire for? That transition, if that does not happen well, that's what creates issues, because there are people who are not doing what they're doing, what they should be doing. Their aspirations are not met. So I think the transition is important. And I think if we focus more on transition, that's what has built this country. Migrants have built this country. In city of Parramatta, again, more than 53% of the population were born overseas. So 1 in 2 people have overseas connection. So that's massive.
It's like,
Amazing. Coming back to Anurag, a lot of people think that hospitality and being particularly a leader in that sector is impossible, very difficult, and probably someone who has been privileged enough to be given that role or born in that industry would make it. But you're meeting people every single day, especially those who work under you, who just start here, right? As a student, not even from, the industry. What do you suggest them? Like, where do they start, and is it possible to be somewhere in your position?
Great question. I must say, and I'll start by saying this, if an immigrant or a migrant like myself has done it, anyone can do it. And I'll tell you a brief story behind. The challenge is, as soon as we land, we need some directions. And that's where it's missing. That's where people phase out and look in, where do we go? What do we do? Connecting with Samirji's point, it just comes down to, there are skilled people coming here, but are we providing them that connect to the opportunity? Are they approaching those opportunities the way they should be approaching? So my 3 pointers, any international student, and I can connect, I can tell you my little story. Back in New Zealand when I was studying, I remember catching these late night buses. I remember $10 in my pocket, looking for a cheap meal to survive through the student period. We all have gone through it. As long as you have this clear focus of what you want to achieve, and there is a passion and a dedication that I will follow a mentor or a person who's going to guide me, but you need to reach out to that person. So my first tip would be start reaching out to the leaders. Don't be shy. You really don't need to have an Australian experience in past or a New Zealand experience in past in my case. When you reach out to the leaders, they probably won't have an opportunity for you straight away. But as leaders, I'm sure Amir and Aman would agree, we appreciate the hunger
Yes.
when someone reaches out. And they would remember you. To start with, any student watching this podcast, I highly recommend work on your CV as per Australian standards. Reach out to people like Aman and Priota, like they're going to help you out. Then when you're writing to the leaders, having a LinkedIn account and reaching out to the leaders, volunteer yourself. Say, look, I've finished this hospitality degree. I'm really excited. This is the area of hospitality I want to work with. Could I please volunteer for 10 hours of my time to come and see how it works? 9 out of 10, you would be accepted. And most of the leaders in HR, depending on your college conditions and your work hours, they will be accepting you. So that's your entry to the game. You know how hotel works. This is the role, what it demands. Second bit, I would say, especially from people from subcontinent, you, as Sabirji mentioned, we are blessed here. This land is full of opportunities. But you want to hang out with people who are definitely looking forward to do well in their careers. Understand how things work here. Be the part of the system. Learn the do's and don'ts. You're not just representing yourself, you're representing the entire subcontinent or the country. Whether it's your social skills, whether your civic sense while we're traveling in public transports and others, right? So these key aspects would eventually lead you to the right opportunity. But be very clear what you want to achieve. Work on your resume, reach out to the leaders, offer volunteer work, follow up. I have seen people after sending the resume, not even 10% of them would follow up. Leaders appreciate if they see the serious level of commitment of following up on the application. Now, coming back to my journey, from student, though I was already at the duty manager, which is like a middle management in India when I moved to New Zealand.
That's what I was saying. A little bit different.
That's
But
correct.
still an experience.
Yeah, but then having said that, it's a great learning for your viewers. Sometimes you have to take few steps back, and it's perfectly fine. So in a hotel hierarchy, let's say there are 11 levels of manager. And if I was in India in the mid-manager level, New Zealand did not give to me, welcome, you're here, that's your senior management role.
Doesn't happen.
You had to step back a little bit, and that's totally fine. As long as the attitude is there, as long as the commitment is there, your hard work. And me and Aman, we were just talking earlier that the whole DNA of the hard work and commitment and the loyalty, trust me, majority of the employers, these are the big ticks. So when you get an opportunity, you probably be already a middle manager back home in India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, Nepal. Take that opportunity. Don't shy away. Try different departments. You probably worked in kitchen in past, but you probably have great communication skills. You get an opportunity to work at the concierge. Get your foot inside the door. Majority of the hotels employers will look for people internally.
Right.
I can give you our example at Holiday in Parramatta. Since 2018, I can tell you 80% of our positions are filled internally. Middle management, senior management, we do not go outside, and that including myself.
Is it the comfort zone?
Not the comfort zone. So it comes down to people who are already there. They've shown the loyalty. They're working hard. Why do I need to get a manager from outside when someone is internally ready? So what one needs to understand, when you show your loyalty, your work ethics, it won't go ignored. You will be getting an opportunity. So same way when you're applying for any job, don't think as, oh, I was already a middle manager or a senior manager back in India with X bank or X hotel. Why? I'm not going to compromise. There is no compromise. It's just a journey. You have to go step by step. So these are my 3 takeaways, especially connecting to my journey. And if I may mention, Samir ji, myself, some core team members, we have initiated something which is a fantastic platform. It's called Artha. And Samir ji is the instrumental a person behind it with the key ethics of reaching to your full potential. And it has nothing to do with any politics or party or anything. Samir ji, I'm sure you want to share a few words.
Yeah,
At some stage, yes, I will. Artha comes from Sanskrit word, Arthashastra. Artha means purpose, prosperity, and progress. And that's what we want to see. We want to see that people reach their full potential. I asked 2 questions to a number of people. Have you reached your full potential? I ask you as well, both of you. And secondly, what's the end game? What's the end game? Is it getting more people, making more money? Is it more being healthy? Is it more having more time? Having more of something? What's the end game? And I think we need to answer this question. Every answer will be different. Individuals will have this different answers for this. But I think it's really important in the context of our life, our journey, that have we reached our full potential, and what's the end game?
I can go first if you like.
Go for it.
So for me, look, it keeps changing. So for me, it's, what is the next challenge? What is that you want to achieve in your life? And then when you get there, then you set yourself a new goal. So I think ultimately you're never really going to reach your full potential because you're always going to keep striving towards the next thing. And and then you keep changing the goals as you get along. So for me, it's a ongoing process, and I like to set my goals, achieve them, get to the next goal, and set a new goal. So that's the way I look at it. But what about you?
I think same goes for me. I like to take one day at a time, and then I have goals for, okay, this is what I want this week, and then move on to the next. I want to dream big, but then I think if I dream this much, I think there is far more than that. Like the sky is the limit. That's what I believe in.
It's also, at some stage we have to start seeing what is it that the community needs, and the migrant community, the Indian diaspora, the South Asian community, and how we can advocate for it. How can we play advocacy role in changing the policies that eventually, for example, migration. There is a lot of advantage of migration. The country is built on migration. And if we can summarize, there are a number of benefits. But if I can just use A to E, A, B, C, D, E. So A was for aging population and economy, which I expanded on. B was for building a stronger community. C was for connecting Australia to the world. D is driving innovation. A number of startups and a number of very successful entrepreneurs are from migrant communities. And E is for expanding the economy. Number of migrants who come here, they come with a lot of things. But 2 fundamental things which brought all of us here is faith and trust. A number of us, we left a lot of things behind to come here with only one thing, which is faith. Faith for a better life. Faith that you will do better than what you probably would have done in your own country. That faith, that hunger drives them to succeed, and as a result, the country goes up as well. That drives them to innovate, that drives them to do the best for themselves, for their family, for the community, and when the community grows, the country grows. So that's very important to remember, that migrants have built the country, that migrant story is at the center of the success of this country.
And I think a great example was when migration was paused for a couple of years, the impact that had on Australia with, supply chain, logistics, funding for universities. There was huge impact on that side. So, and that highlighted how much we rely on migrants to make sure that, the country moves forward consistently. So I think the right migration is what Australia is working at now. You come here, you work hard, you add value in your skill set or in a field where Australia needs that skill set, and Australia makes it really easy for you to stay here and you know, be here long term. And I think that's where we're moving towards, that, you know, the people that come here and work hard, there's a pathway for them long term.
100%.
Yeah.
I see there's a saying, Aman, that you should not stay in a place where you have nothing to learn, no opportunity, and no respect. If you don't have one of these, you should have to question why you're there in that place. For a number of migrants and for people from Indian diaspora and South Asian communities, they've got all these three. We've got the respect, we've got the opportunities, and we've got things to learn. And we should be grateful about that. We should be grateful every single day that we have had that journey. We have had those things for us here. And that should allow us to give back. That's very important. As I mentioned before, our journey of arrival, to survival, to aspiration, to contribution, and to leadership. At some stage, we have to start contributing to the growth of the country. And as I said, that will start when you are grateful about your own journey, when you are grateful about what you have achieved for yourself.
I have one question for all of you. When did you think, like at what moment, I think it's moment, did you think Australia is my home? What was that magic moment?
I don't think it's a magic. I don't think I had that magic moment. Maybe there is a magic moment. When I first got elected in city of Parramatta, it was just a job. It was a role. Like you got a job and you do your best. But over a period, it's like falling in love with someone. It doesn't, so for some people it happens like this, but sometimes it takes time. Those relationships which last longer, you have invested a lot of time in that, in understanding each other. Same with a place. City of Parramatta, I'm in love with Parramatta now. That's what I live and breathe. And that has taken time because you have that sense of ownership. You have a sense of belonging. You want to keep this place the way it has been and also hand over this to your future generation in a better shape and form than that was given to us. We are custodians. We don't own anything. So that has happened over a period, that you have fallen in love with the place, its people, because you have been made comfortable. You have been given that, you had the sense of belonging. People have made you feel welcome. You own it now. In a way that you have that pride, sense of ownership. So, for me, again, it has not happened overnight or there was no magical moment. Every single lived experience have added towards that. And I've been very grateful in my life that I have had lived experience in a number of areas, which I'm very grateful for. I've always put my hand and myself into situations which sometimes, in hindsight, it has worked out very well. But at the moment, a lot of people will take a step back. So I've had that lived experiences in a lot of areas. I've had that privilege, and I just feel that this is the place.
How about you? Do you have a magical moment? And just to add one of your points, I think the challenge, I would say personally for me, and I would love to learn from you, is like when we talk about representation, there is one part where, of course, we remember our roots and we love to hold on to our roots. But there's also a part where when we love to say we are here and we are residents and we are proud of, being here, calling this home, people start questioning, are you forgetting your roots? So where is the balance and when did you feel this is home?
Look, as Sameerji rightly said, it's a journey. And being a hotelier, we are blessed. I mean, I got to travel everywhere in the world. I worked in Dubai, I worked in New Zealand, worked in Sydney, Cairns, Perth. So it was a journey. Over the period of time, I realized this is where my heart is, so which is Sydney, for example. But my roots back in India, and I'm glad you mentioned the small town of Uttar Pradesh, that's my first home as well. So it just comes down to making sure we going back home, and I still call it home. It's just by default. If you notice here in the room, it just comes out naturally. And that's what it is. You have to have that balance. So I go twice a year. If I could get, I'd go even more. Roots are very much there. The family is there. The houses are there. Parents visiting, or I'm going there. For me, it's not a moment or any specific moment. One thing definitely stood out. During the COVID, how Australia handled everything was a big, impressive moment for me. And I'm sure all your viewers would agree. Even in the current situation of this war situation all around, we are blessed here.
Yeah.
Look at the most beautiful city we live in. Look at the opportunities we have here. Everyone is allowed to do what they want to do. You want to be a fashion model? Become one. You want to fly an aircraft? Do that. You can literally be anything you
Want to be a mayor? Do that.
Want to be mad? Do that. So it's been a journey, and for me, definitely home. Definitely two countries, India and Australia. But in general, few things how Australia handled was a big point for me to decide. Yeah.
What about you?
For me, I think similar to both of you, there's no magic moment as such. I think for me, the moment is when I found my purpose here. So as we talked about earlier, giving back and sharing what you've learned about this country. So when we first started the business, obviously we started coaching new migrants and international students in terms of getting that first job. And when I was able to do that and make that impact on their lives and teach them what I've learned about the Australian market, and that helped them fast track their journeys, I think I found my purpose there. So that made me more attached to Australia, because I now knew that I had developed a level of knowledge or skill that I could only add value in Australia, and therefore I'm deeply attached to the country from that perspective. So I think it's more finding the purpose for me, as opposed to a magic moment.
Amazing. So there's a lot of conversation left. I hope we can find you again in another episode. And unfortunately, we have to end our conversation here, and we would love to see you again in another episode with other amazing guests, and Aman, always with me.
Thanks, bro.
Take care, everyone, and it was lovely to have the two of you here. Thank you so much for coming.
Thanks, guys.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for having
Pleasure
us.
to have
Thank
you.
Thanks.
Thank you, guys. Take care.